Before I start with the story, I want to mention something. Optimus, the other scientist, makes energon, red energon, and insert energon with the power of the Matrix to make energon E, one of the most powerful versions. It's yeah, energon E is basically Energon X from What If Cliffjumper Survived Part 11, or was it Part 12? One of those parts. Oh, I think it was Part 10. Yeah. Yeah, it's basically that, but let's say a bit more reformed. It's more powerful, and every Autobot took it. But anyway, let's start with the story. Now, Optimus and Megatron look at each other and they get ready. As Optimus says, one shall stand. And Megatron says, and one shall fall. As both sides slowly walk towards each other and then start picking up the pace and then start running, just like how the Avengers did it in Avengers Civil War. Yeah, I think yeah, that's the name of the movie. Yeah, basically the same thing. And the Autobots and the Decepticons proceed to fight. And how is it going for the Autobots? Well, let's just say the cons should have prepared for this. As Megatron, what did he bring? I mean, he brought the Predacons mixed with Dark Energon. He brought a bunch of Veocons and those modified Veocons. He brought even Team Char. He brought Starscream, and he brought a few others. And they're all pretty much there, ready for the fight. And Megatron even brought Metroplex, the zombified version of Metroplex. But where's some of the Decepticons? Well, some of them are not here, as those Decepticons were treated with a bit of they were treated a bit more special, as Megatron wants them to stay on Cybertron because he knew this was gonna get bloodied. And Optimus perceives to rush towards Megatron and knees him in the face. And Megatron is sent flying a bit. And Megatron is like, Prime, you're much more powerful. As he takes out the Dark Star Saver and he takes out Megatron's blaster and he smiles. He's like, I've been waiting for this moment, Optimus. A moment where you and I get to fight all out and kill each other. And Optimus is like, please, you really think you can defeat me? And Megatron's like, oh no, Prime. That's why I brought backup. As we see Predaking, Skylynx, and Darksteel all pretty much land next, behind, and in front of Optimus. And Megatron walks to Optimus's right as we see Skylynx on Optimus's left, Predaking in front of Optimus, and Darksteel behind Optimus. And Prime's like, just like Revenge of the Fallen. Instead of it being a 3v1, it's a 4v1. Dang, Megatron. When are you gonna stop needing your Decepticons to bail you out from wanting the smoke from me? And Megatron's like, a win is a win, Prime. Doesn't matter if I have to jump you. As Megatron and Predator King along with Skylynx and Darksteel all rush towards Optimus, but Prime rolls his eyes. As Prime combines pretty much the Star Saver and the Vortex Blade. The Sword of Judgment, he gave it to one of his sons, which was, I would have to say, Rodimus. Everyone else obviously has an overpowered weapon, and let's just say, the Decepticons, are not having the best time. Even Predacons. You see, I'm gonna say this right now. One Autobots. You know what? I'll say it. RC. RC herself is as powerful, if not, no, forget. She's not as powerful as a Predacon mixed with Dark Energon. She's strong enough to handle two, if not three, at the same time and still win. And that's just RC. Everyone else, no. This is not a fight. This is not a war. This is not a battlefield. It's a slaughterhouse. The Decepticons really thought they could really kill the Autobots. They thought they could really take them down. No. No, 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 no. It was not really part of the plan, but Megatron he should have thought 10 steps ahead because Prime has the Vortex Blade. He's he's easily helping his team. Every Autobot that gets injured immediately gets all the wounds healed because of how the Vortex Blade works. Remember a few parts, I think it was part 7? No, 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 6, where Rodimus used it to pretty much heal a leader and a few other Autobots, even Hardshell. He healed them. You really think I'm gonna forget that? No, 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 no. I didn't forget that. I just forgot it in the last part because I wanted to make it more interesting and I was too focused on the story. But anywho, Optimus is healing everyone, making sure no one dies. Anyone who's at the brink of death or is even about to die, Prime stops time and makes sure they are saved. You see, the thing is, I'm not sugarcoating it. There is not gonna be any Autobot casualties because of Optimus. Listen, there's so many stories and freaking what ifs about someone with time abilities, and then left towards the point. The story is just, it's fine, but that's not what we want. No nothing, no nothing. So that's what I'm doing. Prime is not nerfed. He's at his full power. He's at his potential. And Prime, he's not bloodlusted. He's beyond that. He really just wants to end this. He knows one thing. Megatron is a big threat, but he knows who the real main villain is gonna be for the next few parts. As Optimus starts fighting off Megatron, Skylings, Darksteel, and Predacon. And he's oh sorry, not Predacon, Predaking. All four of them, they didn't really stand a chance. Optimus was already ridiculously overpowered. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm saying this. Predaking, Skylings, and Darksteel all have Dark Energy on his side. But that's the thing. All of them are pretty strong, pretty durable, but they're not Optimus. They're not old as him. They're not as skilled as him. Prime has been fighting this war for 4 million years straight. Has been fighting on Earth for 5 years. Has been fighting Megatron ever since he became Optimus Prime. And that's been more than 1 million years. They had nothing but children fighting a veteran who's been on the battlefield for a long time. Prime is fighting all of them, and he's giving them the worst time of their lives. They're not having an easy time. No, no, no. They are getting absolutely demolished. Prime is tossing them, throwing them around. He's not impressed with their strength or their power. Prime even tells them, "Is this all? I expected more." And Megatron is extremely mad, but then he looks at the battlefield and he's shocked. The slaughtering of Predacons, the slaughtering of Vehicons, the slaughtering of both, even the modified Vehicons, they're all getting slaughtered by the Autobots. It's not just because they have energy on E, it's because of how they are. Their weapons, them having upgrades, them being more powerful than before. The Autobots already had new designs. They're already stronger. Now, combine that with energy on E and overpowered artifacts, you're getting a different level of strength. Like, bots like the Dinobots, who are not just Predacon level, no, 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 they're above that because they're more experienced. Because of that, it makes them way more dangerous and they're more intelligent than them. But combine that with the fact they all got upgrades and they have energy on E and they have overpowered artifacts. Yeah, it was never a contest. This was just a slaughter. And the Autobots, they're having a blast. Every Autobot is having the best time, killing Decepticons left and right. Them having a combiner and them just fighting as hard as they can. Oximus he told the Autobots one thing: leave none alive. We are going to kill them all. He said the same line he did in 2011 in Dark of the Moon. We will kill them all. And they're doing it. Left and right, cons are dying. And we see Starscream just shocked, even a bit scared. He starts walking back a bit. But then someone spots him. Ironhide and Impactor. Both bots would pretty much come up towards him. And Starscream is very terrified. And Ironhide is like, Starscream, you've been alive for a long time. And Impactor says, Megatron's second in command. He's most treacherous. He's most despicable, most evil as second command. Willing to betray everyone for his own benefits and can never, ever realize he's never gonna be like Megatron or like Optimus. You act as if you're superior, but you're just a fool. You just have a massive ego. That's your problem, Starscream. You have a huge ego. Thinking you're better than Megatron, but just like your master, you fail. You disappoint. And you just can't get the job done. Hearing this pisses off Starscream, who screams at Impactor to just die as he shoots pretty much a missile towards him. And Impactor casually dodges, grabs it, and comes in front of Starscream instantly. And Starscream looks at him, shocked, and he's like, how? And Impactor says, we never got nerfed. As he proceeds to stab the missile. And I mean stab. It doesn't explode. It's literally stabbed straight towards his spark chamber. And the thing is, this man Starscream's still alive. And Impact is like, oh yeah. Now this is what I'm talking about. And then Starscream's like, this is gruesome. My Primus, you wreckers are really messed up. And Impact are like, nah, we're just getting the job done by getting our hands dirty. As he throws Starscream or the rocket away. And he's like, well, he's dead. As he orders Flame War to take him out. And Flame War kneels and takes out a rifle. A rifle, pretty much just a rifle, pretty much just a sniper. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much just a Cybertronian version of it. And she takes it out and she looks inside the scope. And spotting the missile that's stuck on Starscream's chest, Starscream does try to remove it, but it's too late. She shoots, it hits, and Starscream, well, is sent to the Allspark as he gets executed by no one other than Flame War. And everyone else continues the battlefield, killing the Decepticons, the higher ranks, like Breakdown, Knockouts, and many others who get slaughtered. Many are getting ripped apart, such as Kickback and the other three Insecticon lieutenants. Hardshell is mostly killing them because this man wants some revenge. So yeah, let's just say those guys are not coming back. Yeah, let's just say yeah, like I mean all of them, Kickback and Sharpshot. Yeah, I think that's his name, something like that. Yeah, they're pretty much sent straight towards the Allspark. Well, Optimus, oh boy, like I said, Metroplex is there. Yeah, Metroplex is there, busy fighting the freaking aerial bots. Dang. Oh, these guys, yeah, they combine into a Mega Supreme, and I'm not saying they're overpowering him. I'm just saying they're keeping him in check. They're basically a mosquito. It annoys you. Like imagine fighting a mosquito or trying to kill a mosquito that's so fast and so annoying and knows what to do to pretty much piss you off. To the point you just want to focus on this thing more than anything. You just want to crush it and kill it. That's basically what Superion is towards Metroplex. And Metroplex is just pissed. Well, zombie Metroplex. And they start boxing in a way. Well, not really, because Metroplex is kind of dominating because of his high durability and his size and his strength. And like this, I would say the Autobots are taller because of the 2.0 designs, but let's just say they're tall, but nah, they're not that tall. You can say, ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, pretty much, the Autobots are having a blast, taking down cons left and right. The Decepticons are dying. But of course, many try. Thundercracker and Skywarp even try to fight, but they would be killed by Bumblebee and RC. RC and Bumblebee work together to pretty much take them out and just take them offline, and they successfully do that. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not really gonna sugarcoat it much. Bumblebee will always have this weapon because honestly, it fits him perfectly. You know that sting I always give him in the what ifs, yeah, like in the cliff jumper what if. Yeah, he pretty much has a stinger that allows him to pretty much stop the Decepticons. The even the one as well as Transformer Cyberverse, you know what I'm talking about. And see, I always give her an ice bow because it's it's mostly because it's blue, so it matches her color scheme. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, these two work together side by side, and both of them working together would pretty much kill both Skywarp and Thundercracker. Kind of crazy how I brought them and then I got them killed. I mean, literally, this is just a fight towards the death. I was not really planning on letting them live, anyways. And Optimus is fighting Megatron and just Megatron. What happens to the Predacons? Yeah, the kiss in the dirt. Both Predaking, oh sorry, not both. Predaking and both Darksteel and Skylings are taken offline. Now, few minutes before any of that happened, pretty much Optimus, when he was fighting them, he was stopping time, cutting them in like the most specific places, like the most vulnerable places for them to feel pain but not get hurt. He's easily demolishing them. The combination of the Star Saver and the Vortex Blade is just too much. Megatron is the only one who can make Optimus kind of sweat, but Optimus, at the end of the day, can stop time, and he manages to decapitate Darksteel, killing him. Skylings will obviously be mad that one of his brothers, one of his kin, is dead. Rushing in, Optimus casually speed blitzes him because remember, Red Energon and Insert Energon and the power of the Matrix, yeah, Optimus' speed is ridiculous. Prime casually dodges his attacks, overwhelms him, and stabs him straight in his spark chamber, killing him. And then Prime pretty much just goes behind him, grabs the sword from behind and rips it off. Well, no, rips it out of him. Like remember, like how can I describe this? He pretty much stabbed him, and the sword is stuck. Prime will go behind him, grab the sword from behind, and pretty much just yanks it out of his chest. You can say it like I don't know how to describe it. It's just okay. No, I can, but it's just like that's basically how I can describe it. And yeah, it's like it's like someone, someone stabs you. They go behind you and grab the sword from behind you and pulls it out. Everything. So, and then not only are people gonna be seeing your blood, they're gonna be seeing a few of your organs and parts. That's pretty much what Optimus does. And Predaking is mad. He transforms to his beast form and rushes in. Prime looks at him and he's like disappointing. As Prime flies towards him, and he uses the full power to slice this man Predaking in half, instantly kill him. Like Predaking opened his mouth to prepare a fire breath, but Prime speed blitzes and cuts him in half, from the mouth to the end of his tail. Yeah, this man Predaking cut in half, and he lands in half. And Megatron just looks at Optimus like, should have seen this coming. And Megatron turns around and he sees everyone having the worst time. Team Chaw is pretty much not having the best time, but they they leave. They left. quite a while. Megatron realizes they left him, and Megatron is kind of shocked. They left him. He he's their leader, but Megatron should have seen that coming. And yeah, Megatron looks at Optimus and he's like, "Huh, some of my lieutenants are dead, and new Decepticons are dead." And looking at the Constructicons who are fighting the Dinobots and seeing what's happening to them, he's like, "Yeah, should have seen that coming." As they won't they're not gonna make it. Let's just say that. Yeah, the Decepticons are get no sorry, the Constructicons are getting the most brutal death. Burnt, ripped, stabbed, and more apart. Let's just say there's no death that can describe this one. It's just painful. Megatron sees this and he's kind of surprised. But Lugnut, he's fighting his hardest, but he's getting overwhelmed. But then Megatron decides to do something nice for once, ordering all of his Decepticons to leave. And everyone hears this. But Lugnut, being obviously the most loyal and most glazing Decepticon of everybody, screams, "Lord Megatron, my master, I will not leave you." But then Megatron is like, "You guys don't stand a chance. It's better to evacuate immediately." And quickly, the Decepticons that are left leave. And dang, everyone from Team Char's alive. Lugnut is alive. And oh yeah, Lockdown is alive and Dreadwing. And everyone else is alive. But they were two Decepticons who weren't really there. They were on Cybertron, preparing for Megatron's arrival, believing he might win. And Megatron looks at Optimus and he tells him, "Prime, I want to do a final battle with you. The battle of the ages. The one that will end everything. Let's do this." And Optimus looks at him kind of shocked, but then smiles, saying okay. As we skip to episode 24, Prime walks and tells Megatron he can't defeat him. And Megatron is like, "You're right. For the past few months, I never had the chance to ever defeat you. You were too powerful. You had everything, Prime. You had knights, wreckers, combiners. Well, only one combiner, but it doesn't really matter. You have beasts. You have everything you need. I never stood a chance. But if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die fighting you. And I am going to." But then Megatron's head is cut off. Before he had a chance to finish his speech, Prime ended it in one single slash. And Prime says, "Enough talk. It's over." As Megatron's body falls, and before his head can hit the ground, Prime grabs it. Megatron, at least a little bit life, with a little bit of life, he's like, "I never expected you to easily do that." And Optimus is like, "You should have, you should have given up a long time ago." Megatron's like, "Yeah, guess, I did lose." As his optics go off, but a ground bridge is opened, and Megatron's body and his weapons fall through. And Optimus looks a bit bewildered, a bit surprised. He's kind of wondering. And we will see two other Decepticons quickly escaping, which is, well, not three. No, sorry, not two, not two. Three Decepticons, yes, I believe. Yeah, three. Wait, is it three? No, it should be more. Yeah, so more escape, more escape. But anywho, it doesn't really matter much. As we would pretty much see the Autobots all come together. Everyone just shocked. And Nova asks, what are they gonna do now? And Optimus looks at his son, looks up to the sky, and also wonders, what are they gonna do? And Prime just shakes his head, saying nothing much. But they should probably fix this place up. As they start piling up the bodies and start pretty much recycling, you can say. Yeah. And maybe doing that for most of the episode. Well, we will cut straight to a Cybertron, as all the Decepticons will come back. And we would see Soundwave and Shockwave as Megatron's body falls through. And along with his head, because Prime dropped it. And both Soundwave and Shockwave look at it. And they realize Megatron is dead. But then, the only Decepticons that are left pretty much pull up. And Shockwave does ask what happened. And we would see Lockdown explain everything, even show them some footage. And both of them are kind of shocked. And Soundwave is pretty mad. He wishes he could have been there, but Megatron they tell him to stay behind with Shockwave, as they're the only hope for the Decepticon cause. And Shockwave, if he had a smile or a face, he would give the most devious, most evilest smack in all of history. And yeah, Shockwave knows one thing: he's in charge now. With Megatron dead, Starscream dead, there's pretty much no one qualified besides him. And every Decepticon respects Shockwave, so respects him a lot. So, you know what that means? Yeah, he's the main antagonist for pretty much the rest of the series. Besides one, besides one. And of course, we would also have Triptychon, well, the inside of Triptychon. And Triptychon is busy laughing. He's like, Megatron died. Oh, that's wonderful. That's so wonderful. And Shockwave is like, indeed. But this is gonna be tougher than I imagined, as Megatron was extremely, extremely powerful. But his body will be useful for me. Hearing this makes everyone kind of confused. As Megatron explains, he's gonna be using his body to upgrade himself, as Optimus is just a different level of a beast, and he can defeat him easily. He's gonna need Megatron's body for this, and it's gonna get interesting. As we will skip to episode 25. And the Autobots finish up cleaning up, and they bury all the Decepticons around the world in different locations, like in different oceans, different seas, different rivers, different places, to make sure no one can fight them. Because it's usually the military and Agent File were doing that. But the Autobots decided to do this because there's going to be a lot. It's going to be tough. But anywho, Optimus looks up in the sky. After everyone is done, they all went back to base, and Optimus looks up in the sky. And he wonders, what are they gonna do now? Prime does wonder what they can do. But then the Vortex Blade and the Star Saber both shine. And we would have Alpha Trion explaining everything the same thing towards Optimus. The Mega Keys and whatnot and everything else. But the Vortex Blade, well, it explains something different, as we would see Vector Prime. And Optimus is surprised seeing him. He asks, how how is he here? But Vector Prime will tell him he's just a hologram, you can say. He's a hologram of the real Vector Prime. And he tells Optimus that it's gonna get a lot darker and more interesting, as he's gonna have one of the most psychopathic villains, well, enemies of all time. Without Megatron, no one can hold him back. And Optimus does think for a second. Shockwave in every continuity is always so intelligent and strong and smart. But the thing is, He's always been held back because of Megatron. Megatron has been what's been making him grounded, a bit weak, you can say. Shockwave is willing to do any experiment on anyone, the most psychopathic, the most evilest. But Megatron, he sometimes think they're too inhumane, too in Cybertron, you can say. They were too brutal. So he never gave Shockwave the green flag. But with the death of his master, Shockwave can finally go loose, as he can finally release his true master. And Prime is like, wait, what? His true master? He actually has a master. And Vector tells him Shockwave was never truly loyal to the Decepticon cause. It was a game to him because for a while he has been serving on the Megatron, but he saw Megatron was too incompetent, too brutish. He was too much of a brute, musclehead, you can say, and he wasn't as brutal, as ruthless as him. And Optimus is like, no, 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 no. Who's his master? And hearing this makes Victor Prime tell him, let's just say, he's been manipulating everyone for quite a while, as he's been in the shadows. He's been waiting, he's been watching, and now it's time for him to shine. And Optimus is confused, wondering who is he talking about. And Vector says, hmm, you will be surprised who it is, but don't worry about that for now, Optimus. As Vector and Alpha Trion pretty much disappear or pretty much go back to the sword, you can say, oh, I'm not too sure what happens to the holograms. They just disappear. But Optimus goes back to the real world, you can say, because he was in his own mind. And Optimus wonders, who is Shockwave's master? You see, Shockwave has had a master for quite a while, ever since he was left to die, you see. When RC shots him in the eye and he was trapped on Cybertron and he was all by himself, there was someone who helped him. There was someone who gave him knowledge. There was someone who has been helping him with his experiments, which is the reason why Darksteel, Skylings, and Predaking awakened so early. There was someone no one ever expected. A villain who was always in the shadows, always manipulating and always getting whatever he wants. And this villain deserves some spotlight. No one tries to guess. You guys don't need to guess. You just have to wait until the next part. But anywho, Optimus pretty much goes down on base because it was on top of the base, just admiring the sky and everything. He goes down and informs everybody about everything. And everyone is all wondering who is Shockwave's master. And Prime, thinking that this is gonna get interesting, decides to do something interesting. He goes on top of the roof of his base and he sends out a message. And he says, calling all Autobots, this is Optimus Prime. Things are about to get dark for us. So I'm gonna need some reinforcements. Anyone who receives this message, meet me on Earth. This is gonna be an interesting battle for us. And let it be the finest battle in all of history. So all Autobots who receive this message, please come. We need you. And and Optimus is done with the message. He sends it off into space and makes sure it reaches everywhere. And Optimus goes back down. And we will pretty much see a ship in our space. And the bots receive this message. And they're ready. They're ready to help their leader. And they're ready for the smoke. As we would see the captain of the ship walk. So, dang it, sorry. We will see captain of the ship, walk out of a dark corner as we see his old friend Magnus. And Magnus is like, hmm, this is quite interesting. All right, Wreckers, let's get let's get things into order. Let's see what Arximus is talking about as they prepare to arrive on Earth. And Arximus and the Autobots prepare to get the Omega Keys. And Shockwave, he gets ready for battle. And his master is ready to take back what's his. And that's the end of this part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.